Hi guys, welcome back to the next lecture, which is lesson 7 for Python. So as we know, we are doing Python in 10 lectures and we have covered 6 lessons till now. So in 6 lectures, what we have covered is, I'm giving you a basic overview of the 6 lessons. So in first and second lecture, we have covered that why do we need Python and what is programming language basically, and why do we use it. So I've covered that in which companies Python is used and some basic history of Python, that in which year Python is made, and how updates has came in the Python and who created Python. And then we have covered variables and data assignment and data operators, and then data types, and we have covered then variables and storage of data into the variables, and then we covered loops, for loop, while loop, and then we covered some strings, lists and tuples and dictionaries in detail, and we have learned about their built-in functions or built-in methods. So now what we are going to do in lesson 7 now, so we are going to introduce functions in lesson 7, which are very important part, so you have to listen it carefully. So what are functions basically, and why do we need functions? What is the use of function? Why do we have to use it? So first read a definition which is written in PPT, then I'll explain to you the what are functions. So a function is a block of organized reusable code that performs a specific task. Function help us break a large program into smaller pieces. So what does it mean? So for explaining, I have to open VS Code, and in that thing I'm going to explain it. So come to the VS Code. So now we are on a VS Code, and I'm going to clear all these things. Okay. So now see, what is Python? What is function basically? So the topic is functions. So if I want to add two numbers, it's a very basic example. If I have one variable called a and it has some value 5, and I have one variable b, it has some value 7, and I want to print the sum of it. Okay. So now I can simply do a plus b, and then I can print 5 plus 7, which is 12. So that's fine, we can do that. So yes, we can change the value, we can use bigger value as well. So there is no problem in that, it will do it without any error. So here if I want to add numbers again and again, like I want to add numbers again and again, here I have added 5 by 7, and as you see, if I say after this task, if I say that you have to add, now add 7, or 7 with 8. So now I've given you task again that you have to add this again. So you will do again assignment, you will assign it again and assign this value again, and then print with using the addition operator again. So if I say it to you again third time to do it with some another value, so you have to assign that data into the variables, and then you will go for print. So it is a very lengthy task. It will create a number of lines in the code, and which is not preferable. So for making it short and simple, we use functions here. So how do we use function? So we have to define firstly that what we are going to do. So I am going to define, or now I am writing a name of function. So don't worry about it, just see the syntax. So it is the name of the function which is add, and why I have written here def. So it is called, I am defining a name of function which is add. So in this function we are going to take two parameters, which is a and b, and then we are going to return a plus b. Simple. So it is that much simple. For a, now I can if someone gave me a task to add something, so if I want to add some two numbers, so I just have to call this function. See, if I am calling this by 3 or 4, see the output. So I haven't printed it, sorry. So I have to print it. So now see, 3 plus 4 is equal to 7, it is printed. if I want to print again some more two numbers, I can simply call the function and use like if I want to print 4 plus 5, then I can do this. See, 4 plus 5 is 9. So that's how it makes simple. With just two lines of code, we can add multiple numbers. We can add infinite times. So we don't have to write again and again variable and assignment and then print function. We just have to write simple print function again and again for the addition purpose. So that's how function makes us easier to understand and makes code easier. So now come to the PPT part. So the again question is, why are function important? So function avoid repetition and improve readability, easy to test and debug, make code modular and enhance reusability. As I have told you before, it avoids repetition because you haven't provided any condition. You don't have to provide again variable and assignment and then print. It will avoid repetition. It will improve readability. If someone is reading your code, then he or she can read your code easily. So if you are using function, so easy to test and debug. Yes, it is easy to test and debug. If you are writing a code and you want to debug, you just have to check 2 or 3 lines of a code in a function, so you can debug it easily. So it makes code modular and enhance reusability. So enhance reusability means you can use it again and again multiple times, so you don't have to write some same things again and again. So we use function for that. So now third point is real life applications. For calculators, yes, in calculators we use functions. In banking systems, so to process transactions, we use for functions. Don't worry, we will come to transactions also in banking systems. So in upcoming topics, we will come to that. So in e-commerce, handle orders and payments. Yes, for calculation of payments and handling orders, we use loops or functions. So in games, so to handle the logic of the game, we use functions. In reports to generate summaries, we use function. So advantages of function are usability, readability, maintainability, modularity and teamwork. So now fifth point is basic example of function in Python, which is greet, name, hello, plus me. So it is just example of function. You can try it by yourself. You just have to write the same thing and see the result printing that. So now key points are function are defined using def function, as I told you before, and function can take inputs, parameters. Function can return a value using return. Function do not run automatically, they run when called. As I have told you before that when I call the function, then only it will be run. So good functions do one thing and do it well. That's good. So now create a function that takes two number as input and returns their sum, as we have did the same question before. So you can do it by yourself for more practice. So now the part 8 is summary. So functions are building blocks of a good program. They help us write reusable, clean and efficient code. Mastering functions is the first step toward becoming a great Python developer. So yes, function is important, as I've told you before. So now what is a def keyword? So in Python, the def keyword is used to define a function. It tells Python that you are about to create a block of reusable code that performs a specific task. So once a function is defined, it can be called using multiple times anywhere in your program. Yes. So now function syntax is def function name and then parameters. So parameters you have to provide, and then user will call your function with the parameters with the keywords into the parameters. So then function will return some value. The logic you write in the code is your choice. So now the third is function structure. First you have to define the keyword, define a name of a function, then parameters into that, and then colon, then indented block, and then return of some value. So return is optional totally. If you don't want to return something for in your function, so you don't have to write return always. It is necessary when it is provided a condition that if question provided a condition that you have to return some value, then only you have to write return. So otherwise it's optional. So now syntax breakdown is def, then function name, then parameter, then colon marks, and then indented block, then return. Yes. So now we have some practice questions. We know all these things, I have told you before. So we are practicing it by questions. So define a function that prints welcome to PLP is my acknowledgement. So Now I'm going to do these two questions at first, and these two you can do it by yourself. So let's come to the VS Code. So now we are on the VS Code. Let me clear these things. So now, so I'm writing a function which is create a function which returns hi and then name and then welcome to. So I'm going to do that. So now I'm writing def. So the function name I'm going to provide is function. You can give any name. So we are taking parameter into that. So we are taking name and it prints hi and then his name. So for now I'm using this and yes, it is ready now. So now if I'm using name, so I'll take input with the name from the user. So now you can see it is asking for the input. Let me enter some the so it is asking for a name. So see, it is asking for a name now, which is if I write wash. So and press enter. See, it is enter your name, and I am not calling function right now. So I have to call my function to print. So I am now calling a function with name. So now you can see it. If I am entering a name and press enter, so see it is printing hi Yash, welcome to LP. So that's how you can do it, and you can print values with the help of a function. So now one thing you can see is here it is printing none. So why it is printing none? Because I have provided print function here and I am providing print again here. So if I want to remove that none, I can use return here. You can see it. If I use return and then print this function, that's it is asking for many again. See, there is no none. It is simply printing hi yes welcome to all of you. So that's how you can do it. So now move to the next topic. So now we are on a PPT and we have another function which is creates a function to find a square of a number. So again we have to come to the VS Code. So now we are on a VS Code. Let me select this over and clear this. So we have to create a function which is um, so now we are defining a function which is square and we will store some value in that. Let's suppose I am giving a parameter which is 8 and now I want to print the square of the number. So uh, we are going to return a number which is a, right? So that's enough for that. So we just have to provide a function value into that. So now I am assigning a variable called a int input and then so now I am printing a here. Not printing a, sorry. We have to call the function. So I am using print and then square and then see. So that's how you can do it. So it is asking for enter a number and I'm using 5 and see the output is 25. So that's how you can use it. Also I can use function. I can make it look more clear. So see if again I'll run this, so it is entering, it is asking for me to enter number, so I'm giving an input of 6 and see, so the square of the number you provided is 36. It will show to the shown to the user. So that's how it will work. So now we are on PPT, and we did two practice questions, and you can do 3 or 4 by yourself. It is just easy task, you can do it. So now 10th point is key takeaways. That is, the def keyword is used to define functions. Function help us to organize code into reusable blocks. Function improve code readability and reduce repetition. A function runs only when called. Use return to send a value back from a function. So we have did this all these points. So now again it is defining a function, which is what is a def keyword in Python. The def keyword is used to define create a function. It tells Python that you are creating a block of reusable code that performs a specific task. It is the same thing we have done. So, I think I have added the same picture again. So let's skip it. So now return statement is used to send a value back from a function to the caller, as we did it. So that what return function do. If we use print, then it will return none with that, because we can't write print twice. Although we can write, but it will return none also for that. So that is not preferable. You have to write a return into the function. So why use return? So to get the output of a function, to use the value in another part of the program, to make function reusable, to write clean and efficient code, to perform calculations and return the results. So that's why we use return. So syntax is return and then value, and also you can return multiple values, value 1, value 2. So now which is feature purpose. So purpose of return and print is it sends value back to the caller, and print display output on a screen. So output can be stored in variable for return case, and in print function cannot be stored. So usage is used inside a function. Return is always used inside a function, and print also can be used inside a function or also can be used outside the function. And feature value for return is it returns a value, and print returns none. So we have given example to you also as previously. When we use print inside the def and outer the def, then it will returns none. So now flow diagram of when we start the function, and then call function, execute function, and build logic in the function, and then we return some value. So important notes are function can have multiple return statements. If no return is used, Python returns none by default. Yes. Then after return, the function stops executing. Return can send any data type, number, string, list, tuple, etc. So return is mainly used when we need to use the result later in the program. So quick summary is return sends a value back from a function to the caller. It is used when we want to use the output of a function later. Return is optional but very powerful for writing reusable code. It is different from print because it actually gives a value. And multiple values can be returned using commas. Function can become more useful and flexible with return. So we have some practice questions. Create a function that returns of a number, a square of a number, as we have did it, and create a function to find average of three numbers. So yes, we are going to do that. Write a function that returns the larger of two numbers. Write a function that returns name and age of a student. Create a function converts Celsius to Fahrenheit. So you can do these three questions by yourself. I am going to do this 1 and 2, and first questions we have done previously. So I am now going to do the second question. So we are creating a function which will return the average of three numbers. So now come to VS Code. So now we are on a VS Code, and let me clear all these things. So now here you can see I'm writing a program, writing a function which will return average of. So now if I want to print average of three numbers, so I have average is created by adding three numbers and then divided by 3. So now we are creating a function. I'm declaring def and then average function. We named the function average, abg, and then we assigning some values a, b, and c, and close the function, then this colon, and then we have to return the value is a plus b plus c, and then divided by 3. So it is done. So for A we are going to take input and write and just here. And for B also we are going to do the same thing. And for C also we are going to do the same thing. So now when we run this code, see, it is asking me, so oh sorry, I haven't called the function. So first I have to call the function. Print average with A, B, C. So now we are doing it again. So it is asking for a first number. Let me clear it first one. So 7, 7 and 7. So so now for more clarity, I can use this. So it will look more. So now so now see, it is asking for entering first number. So I'm writing 9 here and then writing 7 here and then writing 6. So see, it is the average of three numbers, which is 7.33333. So that's how you can write a function for code. So it will return the average of three numbers. So that's how you can do a similar questions. Now come back to the PPT. So now we are back on the PPT and this is topic 5, which is default arguments. And default arguments are values assigned to the parameter in a function. Definition: if no value passed during a function call, so the default value is used. So how we use default values. So let me come to the VS Code and I will explain. So now we are on the VS Code and I'll delete all these things. So now if I'm creating a function using def and then if I'm uh, passing some values, so I'm giving a name to the definition to the function is details and see I'm assigning a parameter which is a name. So now name is let me clear you one thing first, that if I am assigning name and then it is a definition part and I'm using if I'm using print and writing a code I so now if I'm calling a function details with the name Yosh. So here see, it is printing highest, but that does not mean that it is not wrong. If I'm using print here, I'm not using print here, you can see I'm just calling the function, so it is just printing it on a screen and return actual returns the value. So that is a difference between that and one major difference which I want to tell you, that it is if here see, if I'm assigning name, it is a parameter. So this is a parameter which I am assigning and this is an argument which I am giving to the question. Then this value is stored in a variable called name. So here name is a parameter and which value I am assigning is a data and it is a arguments which I am providing giving a question. So that's how it was. So the back to the concept. So what is default parameters now? So if no name is provided, then it will use name default as Yash. I can provide a default name also. So so now what does it mean I'm providing a name here? So it means it is a default name. If I haven't provided any name in the keywords, so then it will use this name as a default value. So I'm giving an example of that also, don't worry about that. And I'm giving age is equal to 20 here. And now if I use int function here and use f and then I, and then I'll use name, and then see, if now if I call a function uh, details, and I have to provide two parameters here. There are two parameters, name and second one is age. So I have to provide two arguments if I want to print something. So if I provide here Rahul and age is 30, so that will be okay. That's not okay because I haven't provided it in a string. So now I'm provided in. So see, hi Rahul, your age is 30. But what if I only provided name here and I have forgot to provide age here. So what will happen is, so it will print, hi Rahul, your age is 20. Why it is printing 20? So cause I have provided a default value of age which is 20, and even if I haven't provided any condition, I just call the function, the default arguments will pass here. So see, hi yes, your age is 20. By default it will take a value yes if I haven't provided, but if I provided, then it will get the value. So that's how it does. That's the point of default keywords or arguments or parameters. So this is the work of default parameter. So that's how it works. So let's come back to the PPT. So now in PPT we are looking at the syntax which I have told you before, that def function name parameter 1, parameter 2 which have a default value, required parameter, default parameter, default value. Then we have covered this. Now default value can contain integer, string, float, list or boolean or any object. So yes, it can take any data type, any data. So it is a default string. I've given you example. So I think there is no confusion in between. So now the advantages of using default parameters: make functions flexible and easy to use, reduce the number of arguments required, and improves code readability, helps in writing clear and reusable code. So these are the advantages of using default parameters. So real life example is, think of a shopping cart. When you add an item, you can specify the quantity. If you don't specify, the default quantity is one. So that's a real life example for that. Here it is providing in a function called add item, and then it is an item, and then quantity is set by default which is 1. So if I print added quantity into item, so quantity will be automatically multiplied by the item. So by default quantity is 1. If I don't provide any quantity, then it will automatically multiply it by 1. So that is the logic of this function. So now practice questions, we have done it. You can try this by yourself for your practice. Key takeaways is the default arguments provide default values to the parameter, and they make function easier and more flexible. And once the default is given, all parameters to the right must have default values. Default are used only when arguments are not passed, and use wisely for cleaner and usable code. So that's how. So now what is a keyword argument? So keyword argument allows you to pass arguments to a function by specifying a parameter name along with its value. The order of argument does not matter in the keyword arguments. The parameter name is used as a keyword to pass the value. So now what does it mean, and why do we need keyword arguments? So it makes code more readable and self-explanatory, and then it will then order of argument does not matter in that, and help avoid mistakes when there are many parameters, useful when some parameters have default values, improves code clarity and maintainability. So the syntax is def function name, and then parameter, parameter 2, and then parameter 3. Then we call a function with arguments provide value. So we have did it before. I have given you example of that before also. So now you can do these practice questions by yourself, and Now come to the next topic, which is args and k-args. So this is the important topic which we are going to cover. So sometimes we don't know how many arguments will be passed to a function, and Python provides dot asterisk args and double asterisk k-args, which allows a function to accept a variable number of arguments. They make function more flexible and powerful. But how? Then what is asterisk the args? So args is a non-keyword variable length arguments, allows a function to accept any number of positional arguments. So let's see how it does the things. So I'm going to cover it in VS Code. Let's come to the VS Code. So now we are in a VS Code, and let me clear this first. So for an example, if I'm using function add and passing parameters a and b, and want to print sum of a and b, so I'm doing this simply. So if I need sum of that, so I'll just simply call the function and write values 4 plus 5, and it will return 6, sorry 9. So it will return 9 easily. If I want to add 5 or 6, then it will return 11. So it is simple. But now the problem is, if I add 5, 6 and then 8, then this is an error. Why it is an error? Because here the function is expecting only two arguments, two parameters to be passed. So I am giving 8 extra here. So if I want to print 3 characters or 4 characters or 2 characters, so I can't do that because it is expecting only 2, and I can't even I can't even provide less than 2, and can't even provide more than 2. So otherwise it will be an error. So here the role of args comes. So if I use asterisk and args here, so now I will define some value which is total is equal to 0, and then use for loop, and for I in args, and then I'll add the value simply. So total is equal to total plus I here. So now it will simply return the value, print the value which is the total. So now if I provide some values into the function which is 4, 5 and 6, so let's see what happens. It will return proper addition of these three values. See, 6, 4, 10 and plus 5 is 15. And now if I want to know only the 4 plus 5, then it will return 9. So how I did this? So what this function is doing, so I can provide a number of digits as much as I want to print. I want to add this, so it will print the addition of this also. See, it is returning 28. So how I'm doing this with the help of .args asterisk args. So it means if I provided here args asterisk args, so it means now the length is not defined. We can assign as many as value as we want. So now here I have provided a variable which is total is equal to 0. So here the value of total is equal to 0, and I am using loop inside the function which is for loop, and for I in args. Args is the parameter which I have assigned here, and this asterisk provides a for function readability, that it means the length of the parameter is not defining. So now here I can use anything else also, like I can use number also here, then I only have to change here. So see, it is asking for the same thing. So if I call the function for x3, then it will print the same sum of the function. So it is that much simple. So the point is you have to specify asterisk here. So by default we use args here. We define it by args. So don't be confused that always you need to write here args. You can write something else also, but the condition is you have to write asterisk first, then you can write anything variable name, but preferably you have to write here args, which is preferable. So also you can use anything else. Then using in for loop, I have provided the condition the value of total will become total plus I. So first I provided, if I provided the function 4 5 6, then first I will become 4, and then total plus I, so total is 0, but then 0 will become 0 plus 4, and then for second time I will become 5, and then total is now 4, and then it will become plus 5, and then 4 plus 5 is equal to 9 here, and it will I will become 6 later, and then 6 is equal to 6 will plus in the function, and the output will be 14, sorry, the output will be 15. So that's how it goes. So at final we printed the value of total, and then it is printed with the help of add. With the help we are calling the function with the function name, which is add. So that's how ARGS works. So now come to the PPT. We have done with the asterisk args and double asterisk args. It is not that much important, but you can see the theory. This is asterisk k args, keyword variable length arguments, allows function to accept any number of keyword arguments. So we use this when we have a dictionary form data. Then we use this, and while using this it converts the data into the dictionary, and then do some operations on that. So it is not that much important, so you just have to learn about this, so you can escape this part. So now real life uses of args is a logging system accept any number of logged on messages or details, and web frameworks handle flexible URL parameters and any data, and then data processing functions that work with varying data sets. APIs accept different parameters from client requests, and automation scripts handle different inputs without changing the function. So key points are asterisk args collect extra positional arguments in tuple, and double asterisk args collect extra keyword argument in the dictionary. Use asterisk args before asterisk args in function definition. They help create flexible and reusable function, and you can use asterisk args together in the one function. Yes, you can do it. So now move to the next question, which is variable scope in a Python. So what is a variable scope in a Python? So local variable and global variable and scope rules. So we are going to cover that in detail. So variable declared inside a function are local to that function. They can only be accessed within a function. And global variables declared outside any function are global. They can be accessed throughout the program. So what does it mean? So let me make it clear for you. We have to come to the VS Code for more explanation. So now we are on a VS Code, and I am going to explain global variables and local variables. So now if I am explaining, if I am assuming that here is a which is equal to 5. So and I am printing it. So it is simple that value is a now. You can see here it is an a. But now if I am writing a line of code, and inside the code which I have written add something like that, so I am using here a is equal to 10, and then I haven't written anything, written 0, okay. So I haven't written anything. So now the value of a will be 5 or will be 10. So see, if I am using this and see, it is 5, but if I write print here and calls the function which is add, then it will printing 10. And here if I am calling value of a, the value of a is 5. So how it is 5? So it is basically global variable, so you can use this value throughout the whole program. In the whole program you can use the value of a, which is 5. But if I assign value of a inside a function is 10, then it will be 10 only inside a function. See, if I am calling inside a function, the value of a will be 10, which is printed. But if I am calling the value of a outside the function, then the value of the function will be 5, because it is a global variable, and here a is equal to 10, it is a local variable for the function. So inside a function the value of a is fixed. And another thing, that when we use global function, the value of a will be fixed, is equal to 5. But if we use it in a function, it will be is equal to 10, and if we use it outside the function, it will be 5. So that is the difference between global and local variable. So it is a global variable which value is can be accessed throughout the program, which is saved, and it is the local variable through which its value is 10 inside the function only. After we close the function and access the value of a, it will be returning 5 only. So that's how it works. Now coming to the PPT, and here is a scope rules. The variable is local to the region where it is defined, as I told you, and local variable has a priority over a global variable, which is with the same name. If a variable is not found in the local scope, Python looks for it in a global scope. Yes, if I haven't assigned a value inside a function, then it will take the value of a outside the function, which is equal to 5, as I've told you before. If not found in a global scope, name errors. So if I haven't assigned a value in a global variable also, or in a local variable also, then it will assign a error. So what is LEGB concept? So basic overview is local, enclosing, then global, and then return. So you can read this PPT, and these are some examples of local and global. So common mistakes, you can see it for your clarification. Let me giving you a quick summary for that. Variables have a scope which defines where they can be accessed. Local variables are created inside a function and are temporary. Global variables are accessible throughout the program. Python follows the LEGB rule to resolve variable names. Understanding scopes help avoid bugs and write better code. Good grasp variable scope is essential for becoming a strong Python programmer. So we can read throughout the PPT. Now I'm moving forward to the next topic, which is lambda function. So what is lambda? So lambda is a small anonymous function. It can have any number of arguments but only one expression. It is used when we need a simple function for a short period of time. And lambda function are unnamed inline functions. They are defined using the lambda keyword. So lambda keyword is just a simple single line of code. We don't have to write it again and again and again. So if you see the example, so see here add is equal to lambda ab, and it returns a plus b always. So it is used to do more simple. So let's come to the VS Code and it will explain it. So say it is a function of add. If I want to give input here a comma b, and see if I am printing a plus b, then what I have to do is, so all I have to do now, print assign the values. So I can just simply call the function 5 and 4, which will return the function is 9. So here I can use lambda function. So how can I use lambda function here? So in this question I am using different lines, but while using lambda function I can use the same code in a single line. So let me do this. I am assigning a variable which is called add, and using lambda here, and let a comma b is equal to a plus b, and then close it. To close it. So now if I want to print the value, so for printing it I simply use print here and add, and then assign values, which is same as previous one, and see the output. See, it is returning 9. I can change the value again and print the result, which is 87 or some bigger values for the 3. So then 130 is the sum of these two values. So we can use lambda function for these kind of functions which are containing much more space. We can do this in a single line. So see, it is a bigger function, it is a small function, so we can use simple one line function for that, so it improves readability and usability of the code. So now come back to the PPT. Now in PPT, it is lambda function we have done. Uh, uh, we do lambda versus normal function, which is definition using lambda keyword. We use lambda before defining that we are using lambda function, and in normal function we use def defining the keyword. So then we provide name in the normal function, and in lambda function we do not have to provide name. It is a single expression only, and it in normal function can have multiple statements. Return implicit return, we don't have to specify return here, it will return automatically. And in normal function we have to write return, it is explicit return. And best for short simple task is lambda function for single line code, and for complex and reusable logic we use normal function. So lambda is used like that, and function is used like that. So we have done with the examples, and now you can practice these two. And now use cases are used with functions like map, filter, and reuse. Let me tell you about a map function first. So let's come to the VS Code. So now we are in the VS Code, and let me clear it first. So if I have a list containing values, suppose I have a list 3, 6, 5, and 3 again, and I want to write a lambda function which is add. Here I want to write a multiply function this time, so I use a lambda, but before lambda I use map here, and then use lambda, which is x is equal to x into to x, and the function is lst. Now see, if I want to print multiply, let's see what will it return. It is printing right. Let me do it first. Set creator print list, to store these things in the list, and then multiply, and then see 9, 36, and 25, and 9. So what it is doing is it is mapping on every object, on every element of the list. So with the help of map we can assign each and every element to the function lambda, like this. I'm using lambda function. This is the condition I provided for the square function, and now using a map I provided a list here, and now every element is iterable. Now it will iterate on every element, then it will store in a list, because I have provided here list function, and that's how it is printing it. So now you can see the value, which is square of 33 is 1089, and square of 5 is 25, and square of 6 is 36. So that's how map function works. We will now come to the next video. So now we are on PPT. Uh, Sorting with custom logic, creating small helper functions on the go, using GUI callbacks and decorators, so you don't have to think about it right now. So using map here, I have showed you that here it returns multiply by 2. We have done the function in which we are doing this parity inverse, which is basically x into x. It is doing x into 2 only, and now advantages of a lambda function is coincides and save times, and useful for short and simple operations, great with higher order functions, map, filter, etc. Improve readability of for small logic. And limitations are limited to one expression, harder to read or for complex logic, not suitable for large or reusable code, no written statement, implicit return. So at the 8 point is practice questions where I write a lambda function to check if the function is even or not. So I'm doing the first question, and the rest of the question you can do it by. We have done with the map function, we have done with the args, and we have done with the double asterisk k args, we have done with the lambda function. Now let's come to the next topic, which is recursive functions, that how recursion works. What is recursion? So what is a recursion basically? So recursion is a programming technique where function call itself to solve a smaller instance of a same problem until it reach the base case. every recursive solution has base case, stop recursion. Recursive case breaks problem into smaller parts. So in recursion, what we do basically is itself like if we are defining a function and in a return value we call the function value. So here function is calling itself again and again, and then it is printing the value again and again until the base condition meets. So in function recursion we have to provide a base condition always. If we do not provide a base condition, then it will be in a infinite loop and then cause an error. So we need to specify a base condition for that, and let's do it in VS Code. So I'm giving example in a VS Code. So now yes, now we are on a VS Code, and let me figure it out for first. And see, so the topic is function and recursion. So in this function, what we are going to do, we are defining a function which is for factorial. Let's take an example for factorial part. So factorial and we have to provide base condition first. So I'm providing base condition. If n will equal to the 1, sorry, if n will become 0, then it return 1 and then else the value will be n into fact n into n minus 1. So yes, this is the value, and now we can see if I call a function factorial with the value 5, see what it returns. So there is a, because I haven't returned a value, no? So I have to return a value. So now I have to print it and then return a value. I have to return this also. Again there's error. I haven't provided a throwing job, so sorry for that. So now we don't need to just try it with it and try it without that also. See, here it returns 120. So let how this function works. So in this function you can see it is returning 1. If I do factorial is equal to 1, then it will return 1, and if I do as 0, then it will return 1 only. See, it return 1 again. But if I want to print factorial of 5, then it will return 120, the factorial of 5 actually. So we have did it in loops also, but here with the different logic, function recursion, we are doing it. So base condition is if n becomes 0, then it will return 1, because 0 factorial is equal to 1, we know that. And else it returns n into factorial n minus 1. So whatever the value of n is, so let's suppose a value of n is equal to the 5, and now if I say first it checks the condition if n is equal to 0 or not. So n is not equal to 0 here, so it will not return 1 and it will not stop. So else it will go to the else condition, and then it will return n into factorial n minus 1. So n value is 5 here, you can see value of n is 5 here now, and it is calling the function again factorial n minus 1. So it is the function name factorial and it is calling itself again with n minus 1. So fact f 5 minus 1 is 4, so it will be multiplied again because it's a multiplying operator here. So again it is 4 minus 1, it is 3, then it will become 3, then it will become 2 here, and then it will become 1, and then when it is 1 minus 1 will become 0, and then it becomes 1. So it will return 1 and stops here. So we are getting a value of factorial 5 is 120 as here, so it is multiplying 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So that's how recursion works. And now come to the next part of function recursion, come to the PPT. Let's see one more example. So now we are going to calculate the sum of first n natural numbers which which user will provide. So let me clear this first and write a question here. To use hashtag, write a function which returns uh, sum of natural numbers. So for this what we are going to do, so now if I want to write a function that will return the sum of natural numbers, the user will provide, let's suppose if user will provide 5, so we have to do what, we have to find numbers 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 and plus 1. So that's how we have to build a logic of the code. So now what I'm going to do, write a code, define a code first and name it as sum, and it is parameter which is provided by the user, then a colon, this is a default, this is the syntax of the definition of function. So first we have to provide a base case. So base case is if n is equal to 0, then we have to do is return 0. So yes, in the case of sum we return 0 because if we have to find the sum of 0, it will 0 again. So if n becomes 0, then it will return 0 only, and else if it is not 0, then what we have to do, return, which is n plus sum n minus 1. So that's how we are going to do it. And now for checking it, we have to take the input n, which is int, which is input, and now you can see I can use the print function and use sum into that and use n. So see what will happen. So first it will take the input from the user. So suppose I provide 5 here, and see it is the sum of all natural numbers up to 5 is 50. If I run it again and want to print the sum of first 10 natural number, I'll provide 10 here, and see the sum of first natural number is 55. So that's how it was. That's how you build the logic. Do more practice and the code will be easy for you. So now come to the next topic. Yes, so now we have done with the function recursions, and let's see the advantages of that. So it makes code shorter and cleaner for more problems with repetitive structures, easy to implement for divide and conquer problems, can solve complex problems with simple logic useful in data structure algorithms and mathematical problems. Yes, if you are going to do more in computer science field, then you will learn about data structures and algorithm, which is DSA, which is a very important part. So you will use the function recursion in detail in that. So this is very important and reusable code. So what are the disadvantages of that? See, consume more memory because it is calling again and again itself. So function is calling again itself, it is a disadvantage. Code is it consumes more memory than the normal function, and then slower than iteration for large inputs due to overhead. That what we have did in example, we did a very simple kind of code, but if we use very complex code, or we improve the complexity of the code, we use 500 lines of code in that. So there will be an there will be an speed error, like not error, but it will be slower than the normal code. So it is a disadvantage of that, and can cause stack overflow if base case is missing or input is too large. So yes, there is a problem. If we do not provide a base condition, then it will cause an error. So how it will cause an error, let's see in a VS Code. So now here it is a previous example, but if we do not provide here a condition, it is a base case, but if I remove the base case, so let's see what will happen. And now we are just returning this, and see it is asking for an example, and now see it is an error because after becoming 0 it is doing -1, -2, -3, -4. So it is running continuously. See, this is a previous line repeated 1996 more times. So it will be an infinite loop, it will be an error. So this is the problem in that. So if we have to provide the base condition always if we use function recursion. So come to the PPT. So Now with the PPT, let's revise the summary. So recursive function call themselves to solve smaller problems, and a base case stops the recursion. The call stack stores all pending function calls. Once the base case returns, values are returned in reverse order. Use recursion when it makes the solution simple and clear. So this is the summary of that. Now we have to move with the further topic, which is built-in functions. So I'm telling you one thing, you already know about the built-in functions, you just have to listen what I'm talking. So see, introduction is built-in function are predefined function in print that are always available for use. They make our code shorter, easier and more efficient. You don't need to import built-in functions, just use them directly. So built-in function is what the one function we always use is print. So without print we don't use anything, we can't print anything. So in every function we use print. So print is what? Print is also a built-in function. Yes, print is also a built-in function and you use it multiple times. And the length function for which we can know the length of the string, that how many letters or characters are stored in the list or a string. The length is also a built-in function. We have to find max value from the list or tuple or from the string. So it is a predefined built-in function. So this is the syntax of built-in function. There are a lot of built-in functions. Let me show you an example. These are the built-in functions you can see, and there are example. We use ABS for abstraction. It will make the number positive, and round, and then which is power. These are all the math functions. So you just have to take a screenshot of that and store them and practice them. You can see that what these all are returning. So when real life uses, we have to see the length, find number of items in a list. As I told you before, we use length. And for some to calculate total marks of the student, like if we have a set of numbers stored in the list or in any way, we can use sum function over that and it will return the sum of all of them. So it is also a predefined function. We use input to take user details in form of application. We can use it in integer data type, we can use it in string data type. So input function is also a predefined function. Sorted, we use sorted to sort data, to sort it in ascending order or descending order, we use sorted. So sorted is used in list or and tuple also. So this is also a predefined function. So int, float, string are used to convert, validate data in real applications. It is also a predefined function. And range function, we use it for with a for loop. So generate sequence for loops, timers and pagination, so which is also a predefined functions. So now let's come to the quick summary. So these all are the practice programs, and I am going to do two questions from that. Rest of the questions will be homework for you. So see, create a function that takes two in numbers and returns the larger one. We can do it. It is simple one. So let's see something more. Write a function to check if year is a leap year or not. Yeah, that's a question. So we are going to solve that question. We have to come to the VS Code and then we will solve the question. So now we are on a VS Code and we are doing a question of leap year, which is basically a conditional statement question. So we are not using function in that. I'm just showing you example how to check if year is a leap year or not. So we have to take year and input. Then we are going to see that if year is leap year or not. So let me check it. Year is modulus by 400 is equal to 0. Then it will print that leap year. If function is directly divided by 400, then it is a leap year. But if year is divided by 100 and it is completely divided by 100, then it is not a leap year. So you can use here not leap year. And elif, if function is year is divided by 4 completely, then also it is a leap year, else it is not a leap year. So when we run this code, you can see here, if I check for 2026, then see it is not a leap year because it is not divided by 4. But if I check for 2024, let's see, so 2024 is a leap year. We can check multiple years here, 1999, so you can check it. So 1999 is not a leap year. So that's how it works. So come to the PPT again. So now we have done with the leap year questions, and write a function to generate multiplication table of a number. We updated in previous videos. Create a function that accepts lists and return its sum. We can do it. It's simple question. So do something hard. So write a function to find the average of three numbers. We can do it also. We did it in the previous lecture. So write a function to check if a character is a whole or consonant. We can do it also. Create a function that converts kilometer into miles. Create a function for the maximum list. The function calculates simple enters for a function print object. So find. So yes, the 10th question is the hard one. So it is not basically hard. It's just one level upper than these all 9. So I am going to solve this question. If you can't solve that question, then only you have to watch the solution. Otherwise, try it by yourself. So I am going to solve this question. So now we are on VS Code and we are solving a question which we have to print factors of the number. So what factors are? So write a function. So how we are going to do that? So if let's suppose if I have a 8, which is a number, and I want to print the factors of that. So factors of it is 2, and then 4, and then 8 itself. So if I want to print the factors of that, we use a function. So let's come on to it. So we are defining by def, as we all know. So name the function factorial factor, and then assign n into it. And then what I have to do is, if no, we'll use for loop here, for I L range from 1 to n plus 1. And yes, we use n plus 1 because it will come up to the n, and it will come up to the n if we use n plus 1, and if we use n it will come up to the n minus 1. So I've told you in a for loop lecture, so you can see it there, and I'm explaining it to you again here so you can understand it better. So now we have to print factorial, we have to print factors of the number which is n. So what we have to print, we have to give a condition here. If n is divided by I and equals to 0, so if I can divide n perfectly, which remainder will come 0, then print I. And now it's done. Yes, it's done. Let's take the input and then write number here. See, if I call the function factor n, now see, it is asking me for entering a number. If I am using 8 here, see 1, 2, 4 and 8, and it will returning none. So it is returning none because I have used print here and here, so I can use return here. So it will return value, actual value. So see, if I am asking for it returns 1 because it is returning I and then stops. So we have to use print here. So we don't have to write print here, we just can simply call the function by n. Yes, it is that much simple. Now it is asking for a number, we can write 8 here, and see the output is 1, 2, 4 and 8. So it is that much simple. So now come to the conclusion and come to the PPT. So now we are on a PPT, and we have done all these concepts, topic 12. So we have done with the built-in functions, we have done with the functions and function recursion, we have done with the dot asterisk args and double asterisk k args, and we have done with the calculator, length, max, min, and abstraction, and round, pov, and these math functions also. So now we have covered total functions in this lecture,
and in next lecture we are going further with the next topics. So thank you for watching this lecture. Next we'll meet in the next lecture. So thank you.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं, फिल्मोरा है ना।